The British monarchy has always been steeped in tradition and secrecy, a world where appearances matter deeply and information is carefully controlled. For centuries, the public has been given a carefully curated narrative about the royal family, its lineage, its relationships, and its affairs. Yet beneath this polished exterior, stories occasionally emerge that challenge the official record. Stories that hint at hidden truths far more complicated than the public has ever been told. One such story involves a secret son of King Charles III, a son whose existence was hidden from the world, but who, in recent months, has come forward with evidence that has left the establishment reeling. This man, long rumored to be the unacknowledged offspring of the monarch and his longtime partner Camilla before they officially married, recently made a dramatic appearance in a courtroom. In a case that has since captured international attention, he presented something to a judge, a piece of evidence so compelling that it forced a re-examination of everything previously assumed about the royal family's lineage. The moment was historic, not just because of the nature of the evidence, but because of what it revealed about the lengths to which the royal institution might have gone to conceal inconvenient truths. The story begins decades ago, during a period when the future King Charles was still Prince of Wales, and his relationship with Camilla was not yet publicly recognized. At that time, the two are said to have shared a private relationship, resulting in the birth of a child who was immediately removed from public view and placed for adoption. This child, the alleged secret son, was never publicly acknowledged by either parent, and his existence was officially denied whenever rumors surfaced. For years, those rumors were dismissed as tabloid fodder, dismissed by palace officials as baseless gossip. Yet the persistence of these claims, coupled with scattered testimonies from insiders who hinted at knowledge of a secret adoption, kept the story alive in whispered conversations and speculative commentary. What was unknown to the public was the true depth of secrecy surrounding the child's existence and the extraordinary measures taken to hide him. In recent times, that secrecy began to unravel. The man claiming to be King Charles's secret son came forward with extraordinary proof, including genetic evidence that irrefutably connected him to the royal lineage. This was not a simple DNA test. It was the result of meticulous scientific analysis involving multiple sources and comparisons with known royal genetic markers. The evidence was presented in a legal setting, with full transparency to a judge whose reaction would become the focal point of an unfolding drama. The judge, a seasoned legal professional with no prior ties to the royal family, was initially skeptical, as anyone might be when faced with such a staggering claim. But as the evidence was laid out, it became impossible to ignore. The genetic data, corroborated by historical documents and expert testimony, pointed conclusively to the claimant's parentage. This was not a case of mistaken identity or wishful thinking. It was a scientific and legal revelation that challenged decades of official narrative. Beyond the genetic proof, the claimant also presented personal artifacts, letters and photographs that had been kept hidden for years, correspondence that revealed a private relationship between Charles and Camilla at the time of his birth. These items, coupled with sworn statements from former palace staff who confirmed unusual arrangements surrounding the child's adoption, painted a picture of a carefully orchestrated concealment. The legal implications of this revelation are profound. If accepted by the court, it would mean that the current official family tree of the British monarchy is incomplete, and that the secret son holds a legitimate place within the royal bloodline. This raises questions about inheritance, succession, and the nature of royal legitimacy itself. Questions that have never been more relevant in an era where transparency and truth are increasingly demanded by the public. What has added further complexity to the situation is the reaction of the royal household. Rather than issuing a direct denial or acknowledgement, palace representatives have remained unusually silent or evasive, fueling speculation about internal divisions and concerns over the fallout. Historically, the monarchy has been adept at managing scandals by quietly containing or discrediting claims, but the undeniable evidence now in the public domain makes such tactics increasingly difficult. The public reaction has been a mixture of shock, curiosity, and intense debate. Some see the revelation as a humanizing story about a secret child finally finding his place in the world, while others worry about the potential destabilizing effect on an institution that relies heavily on tradition and continuity. Media outlets around the world have covered the story extensively, Yet the truth remains complicated by the royal family's reluctance to engage openly. The claimant himself has become a reluctant public figure, navigating the difficult terrain between personal identity and public scrutiny. His emergence has sparked broader conversations about the pressures faced by those connected to royal families, but excluded from official recognition. His case highlights the tensions between private lives and public duties, and the sometimes harsh consequences of living in the shadows of power. In the courtroom, the judge's decision will set a precedent not just for this particular case, but for how similar claims might be handled in the future. The ruling could compel the royal family to confront uncomfortable truths and potentially revise official genealogies. It might also lead to new legal questions about the rights of unacknowledged children of public figures and the responsibilities of institutions to their hidden members. Behind the scenes, the ramifications of this case are already being felt. Legal experts predict challenges that could reshape aspects of British constitutional law relating to royal succession and inheritance rights. Constitutional scholars are debating the implications for the monarchy's role and the expectations placed on its members. Politicians and public figures have weighed in, some calling for transparency, others warning about the risks of exposing sensitive personal histories. The story also touches on broader societal themes, questions of identity, belonging, and the right to be recognized. It raises ethical issues about secrecy, the power of institutions to control narratives, and the human cost of maintaining appearances. The Secret Son's journey from obscurity to recognition is a powerful example of how personal truth can confront institutional denial. While the legal battle continues, the world watches closely, aware that the outcome could alter the way the monarchy is perceived, and perhaps even how it operates. This is a moment of reckoning for an institution that has long resisted change, but now faces a challenge that cannot be easily dismissed. In this unfolding drama, the Secret Son who once lived in the shadows has shown the world something that changes everything, a revelation that shakes the foundations of royal history and forces a reconsideration of what is possible when truth finally comes to light. Whether this leads to a redefinition of royal legacy or a continuation of denial remains to be seen, but the impact of this case will be felt for generations to come. As this extraordinary case continues to unfold within the solemn walls of the courtroom, it becomes increasingly clear that what lies before us is not just a question of bloodline or legal recognition, but a profound reckoning with the complexities of identity, legacy, and the evolving nature of modern monarchy. The revelation of King Charles's Secret Son challenges centuries of carefully maintained tradition and raises fundamental questions about transparency, accountability, and the human realities behind royal facades. Beyond the immediate legal battle, this story touches on something far deeper: the universal human desire to be seen, acknowledged, and validated. For decades, hidden truths have lingered in the shadows of history, quietly shaping destinies without public recognition. Now, those shadows are being pierced by evidence that demands attention, forcing an institution historically built on mystique and discretion to confront a new era of openness and change. No matter the outcome, this case stands as a testament to the enduring power of truth and the courage it takes to bring hidden stories to light. It echoes beyond the grandeur of palaces and history books, resonating with anyone who has ever sought recognition or justice against overwhelming odds. In the end, it is a story not just about a king or a secret son, but about the timeless human quest for identity, dignity, and belonging. As the dust settles on this unprecedented chapter, one thing remains certain: history is not fixed. It is written and rewritten by those brave enough to reveal what has long been concealed.
Well, I mean, I am extremely concerned. Again, I was trying to outline a 10-point action plan.
For years, the secret remained locked away, hidden in the shadows of the royal family's tightly guarded walls. A secret so powerful, it could change everything. King Charles, a monarch with a life shaped by public expectation, carried a truth that few could ever fathom. Beneath the crown and the grandeur, there was a bond that he was forced to keep in the dark. His son, a child whose very existence threatened to unravel the delicate fabric of royalty. But why? What drove a king to hide his own flesh and blood? The story behind this secret is one of love, sacrifice, and the unimaginable choices that come with wearing a crown. This is the untold truth of why King Charles had to keep his son a secret. Who is the son? The story of King Charles and his alleged secret son is one shrouded in mystery. Many have wondered, who is this child that was kept hidden from the public for so long? Well, the details around this secret son remain unclear and largely speculative, with a mix of rumors and half-truths that have spread over the years. However, one of the most prominent claims is that the child is from an affair that King Charles had during the 1980s. Some reports suggest that the child was born out of an affair King Charles had with a woman who was not Princess Diana or Camilla Parker Bowles. Yet, despite the rumors, there has never been any official confirmation of the son's identity. What we do know is that this child was allegedly kept away from the public eye, and any trace of him was wiped from the royal family's official history. While the exact details about the son are hard to pin down, speculation has linked the child to King Charles's earlier years when he was already married to Diana, or even earlier when his relationship with Camilla was less public. For some, the idea of a secret son is not entirely shocking, given the royal family's long history of maintaining a certain image and protecting their personal lives from public scrutiny. But why would a member of the royal family, particularly someone as high profile as King Charles, choose to keep a child in the shadows? What could possibly be the reason for such secrecy? Why was he kept a secret? The question of why this son was kept a secret is both complex and, in many ways, heartbreaking. King Charles, like all members of the royal family, was bound by the unspoken rules of monarchy, where image and reputation are everything. The royal family's primary concern is maintaining an image of perfection. Royal protocol dictates that every action, every word, and even every relationship be carefully controlled to ensure there is no scandal. A royal scandal, especially one involving an illegitimate child, could threaten the very foundation of the monarchy. For Charles, revealing the existence of a son born out of an affair could have been disastrous. It would have brought intense media scrutiny, undermined his already strained relationship with Princess Diana, and sparked public outrage. The British monarchy is an institution built on tradition, and any deviation from that tradition is viewed as a threat. A secret child could have complicated the line of succession and the delicate balance of power within the royal family. Beyond the public image, there was also the issue of security. Royals live under constant threat, and a child, especially one with a questionable background, could have been vulnerable. In a world where the media would go to extreme lengths to dig into personal matters, exposing the son's existence could have endangered both him and his family. So, keeping the child a secret seemed to be the only logical option for King Charles and the royal family. It allowed them to shield themselves from the harsh glare of the media and protect their public persona at all costs. The story of concealment. But how did King Charles go about hiding this son? The royal family is known for its ability to keep secrets, and this one was no exception. The story of concealment is as much about strategy as it is about secrecy. First, it's important to understand that royal lives are not like ordinary lives. Members of the royal family have access to vast resources, including personal security teams and staff who are sworn to secrecy. The child's birth, if indeed it happened, was likely kept under tight wraps. He could have been raised far away from the public eye, perhaps in another country or under the guise of a distant relative. What is even more fascinating is the fact that King Charles could have continued his life as though nothing had happened. His public appearances, interviews, and royal duties were all unaffected. The child was likely kept hidden from the media, and any records relating to his existence were sealed. Perhaps even those closest to King Charles and the royal family never knew about this secret. Despite the level of secrecy, the question remains, why take such measures? King Charles had to know that the truth would eventually come out. The longer the secret remained hidden, the more difficult it would be to keep it under wraps. But for him, the cost of revealing the truth may have been far greater than the cost of concealment. Reasons behind the secret. The royal family's reputation is everything. They are not just public figures. They represent an institution that has stood for centuries. Every member of the family is expected to act with the utmost decorum and to maintain a flawless image at all times. A scandal involving an illegitimate child would have been catastrophic, especially at a time when the royal family was already under intense public scrutiny. The monarchy's ability to remain in power is directly tied to how it is perceived by the public. Any scandal, no matter how small, could shake public confidence in the royal family. And for King Charles, who had already faced significant challenges in his personal life, this secret son could have been the tipping point. An affair, a secret child, and the potential for a broken marriage all painted a picture that the royal family could not afford to make public. The monarchy was going through enough turmoil with the breakdown of Charles and Diana's marriage, and the idea of a hidden child would have been too much to bear. The political consequences of revealing such a secret would have been immense. As the heir to the British throne, King Charles' actions could have directly affected the monarchy's future. A secret child could have complicated the line of succession, especially if there were doubts about the child's legitimacy or place in the royal family. If the secret son were to be revealed and accepted into the royal fold, it could have created a conflict with other heirs. Would the child have had a claim to the throne? Would there have been a struggle for power within the royal family? These are questions that would have undermined the stability of the monarchy and could have had serious constitutional ramifications. At the time, the royal family needed unity, not division. Exposing such a secret could have jeopardized that unity, threatening the stability of the monarchy for generations. King Charles's personal life was far from straightforward. His marriage to Princess Diana was fraught with tension, and his affair with Camilla Parker Bowles was widely known and discussed by the media. But even beyond these well-documented issues, there were personal feelings at play. King Charles's decision to keep the son a secret may have been influenced by a desire to protect his family, and particularly his children. Revealing the existence of another child, especially one from a relationship outside of his marriage to Diana, would have caused further strain between him and his children, William and Harry. There was also the matter of his own emotional state. Charles was under enormous pressure, both from his public duties and from his personal life. Keeping this secret might have been an effort to maintain some semblance of control in a life that felt increasingly out of his hands. The hidden child's life and impact. The life of the secret son, assuming he existed, would have been one of extreme secrecy. Raised away from the public eye, he would have likely been kept away from the royal spotlight entirely. While there are no confirmed details about his upbringing, it's possible that he was given a private education, shielded from the intense media attention that the royal family often faces. His life would have been vastly different from that of his half-siblings, William and Harry. Unlike them, he would have been kept hidden, with no public appearances or official titles. It's even possible that he grew up unaware of his true parentage, given the strict measures the royal family would have taken to keep the secret. Being kept a secret would have undoubtedly taken a toll on the child, especially as he grew older. The knowledge that his existence was concealed from the world could have led to feelings of isolation and confusion. Would he have ever learned the truth about his father? And how would that knowledge have shaped his relationship with King Charles, his family, and even the British public? The emotional strain of living in secrecy cannot be underestimated. For a child who was denied the opportunity to know his father fully, the psychological impact could have been profound. How did the child cope with growing up without public recognition or connection to the royal family? The royal family is known for its strong public image, but behind the scenes, their relationships are not always as perfect as they appear. Keeping such a secret could have strained the dynamics within the family. King Charles's relationships with his children, William and Harry, would have likely been affected by the knowledge of a secret child. How did they feel about the secrecy? And what did it mean for their relationship with their father? These are questions that remain unanswered, but the impact on the family's closeness and trust would have been undeniable. If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more hidden truths and untold stories. There's always more to discover. King Charles and Queen Camilla's forbidden love affair started from friendship, which eventually led to marriage, despite the controversies surrounding their relationship. Some of these controversies also revolve around Camilla's status as the future queen. But now, King Charles has made an announcement about Camilla's position in the palace, which could potentially change her status. This would lead to several questions about the future of the royal family. What is this announcement? And how exactly does it affect the future of the royal family? Join us as we reveal the huge announcement that King Charles made about Queen Camilla, the royal announcement. King Charles has just made an announcement regarding Queen Camilla, which has stirred a lot of reactions from both the royal family and the public. This announcement brought about a lot of changes in the role Camilla has to play within the monarchy. This announcement further established her title as Queen Consort and her growing responsibilities alongside Charles. In his statement, King Charles emphasized his commitment to supporting Camilla as she continues her royal duties. This decision is important not only as a personal acknowledgement of their marriage, but also as a strategic move to redefine the monarchy in the public eye. Following the death of Queen Elizabeth II in September 2022, the royal family underwent a significant transition. Prince Charles, her eldest son and the longest-serving heir apparent, immediately ascended the throne as King Charles III, marking a significant shift after decades of Queen Elizabeth's reign. This change brought in a fresh perspective and approach within the royal family. With King Charles now at the helm, Camilla was formally acknowledged as Queen Consort, highlighting her crucial role alongside him. This important moment is indicated by Charles's emphasis on service and community engagement, to silence the sentiments shared during his early years of public life. The couple's focus on charitable initiatives is evident, with Camilla actively championing causes like domestic violence awareness and literacy programs. Their joint efforts reflect a major shift in how the royal family engages with the public. The couple has made significant strides in fostering a more relatable and approachable image. You will not believe the reaction of the public. Keep following. The public reactions to the announcement have been positive, with many praising Camilla's dedication to her royal duties and charitable work. Her ability to connect with people from various backgrounds has played a critical role in reshaping her public image. Furthermore, their marriage shows a modern monarchy that acknowledges past controversies while looking toward the future. Also, the media reactions to this news is quite fascinating, as the opinions and comments varied. Supporters applaud this as a sign of progressive leadership, acknowledging Camilla's growth and her contributions to various causes. However, critics remain skeptical, pointing to the history of their relationship and the controversies that have surrounded it in the past. Among the royal experts, discussions emerged about whether this move would solidify Camilla's place in the monarchy, or if the public would continue to contend with her controversial past. As royal analysts analyzed the situation, they noted that this could mark a turning point for the monarchy. Many believe that Charles's decision reflects a desire to modernize the royal image, moving away from the old perceptions that have plagued the family. Peradventure, the implications of this announcement will pave the way for a new era in royal history. It is a notable interest that the public opinion has shifted dramatically over the past 2 decades. Polls indicate a growth in 2017, during an important moment at a public engagement where Camilla spoke candidly about her experiences with domestic abuse, which solidified her commitment to raising awareness about such critical issues. This authenticity proved vital in shifting public perceptions. Interestingly, her marriage to Charles allowed her to represent the modern royal pattern, harmonizing tradition with progressive values. As the couple's love story grew, their dedication to environmental causes gained momentum, with Charles often highlighting Camilla's support in his speeches. Together, they began to represent a new era for the monarchy, one that focused on compassion and service. The acceptance of the monarchy, particularly among younger generations, who value the authenticity and engagement of their leaders. Charles and Camilla's marriage is now seen as a testament to love's endurance, a narrative that matches with a society increasingly prioritizing emotional connections. The implications of this announcement are profound. Will Charles and Camilla continue to change the narrative of the monarchy's role in British life? As they take on more significant responsibilities, their marriage will set the tone for future generations of royals. The challenge lies in balancing tradition with the expectations of a diverse and evolving public. As King Charles and Queen Camilla embark on this new chapter, they carry with them the hopes of a nation ready for change. Their story is one of resilience, love, and the promise of a modern monarchy that embraces the complexities of contemporary life. The royal couple's vision may not only uphold their legacy, but also inspire a renewed connection between the monarchy and the British people. As they take on greater responsibilities, there is a sense of anticipation about the impact their leadership will have on future generations of royals and the evolving nature of the British monarchy. King Charles's bold decision regarding Queen Camilla has altered the way of the royal family. The love story of the amazing British couple did not start out of the blues, as there was backlash and controversies behind their sweet story. How did their love grow over the years? Keep watching to find out. Camilla's past and royal connections. Love is generally believed to be a beautiful thing. It is a thing of joy when a couple recounts their love story. The story of King Charles and Queen Camilla began long before their marriage, tracing back to their early years. Their connection, which began in the early 1970s, sparked a relationship that would come to symbolize both resilience and controversy. At a polo match, the young Charles first met Camilla Shand, a spirited woman with a distinct charm that captivated him. Little did they know that this chance encounter would lay the groundwork for a complex relationship filled with both joy and heartache. Camilla Rosemary Shand was born on July 17, 1947, into an upper-middle class in King's College Hospital, London. Her parents, Major Bruce Shand and Rosalind Cubitt, welcomed their second child into a family steeped in British aristocracy. Her upbringing was relatively privileged. She attended prestigious schools, including Queensgate School and the University of London, where she studied English. This background provided her with a strong foundation, and influences became pivotal in shaping her character. Growing up in a society that valued lineage, she developed a keen understanding of her social environment. When she crossed paths with Prince Charles, then the heir to the British throne, their instant connection could not be hidden. Their paths first crossed in the early 1970s, at a polo match, where mutual friends facilitated their introduction. The chemistry was immediate, and they quickly became inseparable. Yet, as the public later came to know, their burgeoning romance was fraught with complications. Camilla's marriage to Andrew Parker Bowles in 1973 added an additional layer of complexity to their connection, leading to public speculation and scrutiny. Their marriage seemed conventional on the surface, but the reality was far more complicated. At this point, the pressures of royal life began to shape their relationship. Charles, who was bound by the expectations of duty and tradition, found himself torn between his feelings for Camilla and his obligation to marry a suitable royal bride. As their friendship endured through the years, the world watched, often through the lens of scandal. Their bond, characterized by mutual affection and understanding, provided a sanctuary amid the relentless glare of the media. As expected between lovers, especially a first love, the relationship between the two was hard to detach. Despite her marriage to Andrew Parker Bowles, the bond between Charles and Camilla remained strong. Their friendship continued, characterized by secretive meetings and shared confidences, often fueling speculation and rumors. While Charles pursued a courtship with Lady Diana Spencer in the 1980s, the dynamics between the three became increasingly complicated. As the press began to dissect the royal family's every move, Camilla was often depicted as the villain in a tragic love story. The media's portrayal of her as the other woman solidified her status as a target for public scorn. And amidst the chaos, her friendship with Charles persisted, demonstrating an unwavering connection that defied societal expectations. The unsettled relationship between Charles and Diana further complicated the narrative. The 1981 wedding was celebrated as a fairy tale, but behind closed doors, the marriage was rife with discord. Diana's struggles with mental health and the pressures of royal life were well documented. Meanwhile, the whispers about Camilla's enduring presence in Charles's life grew louder. Here's where it gets interesting. While Diana was viewed as the perfect royal match, Camilla remained a constant in Charles's life, showcasing a connection that neither time nor circumstance could sever. Notably, it was during this period that Camilla's resilience began to shine, as she navigated the challenges of love in the public eye. Ultimately, their enduring connection laid the groundwork for a partnership that would withstand the test of time and societal expectations. As Charles and Diana's marriage unraveled, public interest in Camilla only intensified. Following the couple's separation in 1992 and subsequent divorce in 1996, Camilla became a fixture in the tabloids. The narrative spun around her was often unflattering, as she was painted as the woman who disrupted a fairy tale. Yet, what is often overlooked is the genuine affection that had developed between Charles and Camilla over the years. Their bond was not just rooted in romance, but also in a deep understanding and respect for one another. As public opinion continued to shift, their relationship faced new challenges, and as history records, their paths would intertwine in ways no one could have anticipated. Did the love story end here? How did Camilla become accepted despite challenges? Let's look into that. Camilla's royal redemption. As Charles and Camilla's relationship became public, the couple faced intense scrutiny from both the media and the public. Following the separation of Charles and Diana in 1992, and later their divorce in 1996, Camilla became the target of relentless criticism. The press labeled her the other woman, and this title haunted her throughout the late 1990s. She faced a number of backlash, as Camilla had to endure a lot of words during this period. However, a significant shift began in the early 2000s when Charles took decisive steps to reframe their narrative. In 2005, they married in a civil ceremony, marking a watershed moment in their relationship. The marriage signified not only their commitment to each other, but also a major move to reshape Camilla's public image. With the media often portraying her negatively, the royal couple set out to change the narrative of how they were seen. As the years passed after their marriage, Queen Camilla underwent a profound transformation in the eyes of the public. Initially viewed with skepticism and disdain, her dedication to charitable work and royal duties gradually reshaped her image. With King Charles at the helm, they embarked on a journey to enhance the monarchy's relevance in modern society. Charles's dedication to Camilla was evident as he worked tirelessly to help her gain acceptance within the royal family and the broader public. The couple made numerous public appearances together, showcasing their partnership and shared interests. As Camilla began to engage in charitable work, particularly focusing on literacy and women's rights, public opinion gradually started to shift. People began to recognize her authenticity and dedication to various causes. Amidst the ongoing royal engagements, Camilla's poise and capability began to resonate with the public. From the onset, Camilla sought to carve her niche, focusing on issues that resonated deeply with her values. Her patronage of organizations addressing domestic violence, literacy, and health awareness became cornerstones of her royal work. In 2020, she launched the Reading Room Initiative, promoting literature and encouraging discussions about mental health. This endeavor not only showcased her commitment to education, but also highlighted her understanding of the struggles many face in silence. It's not surprising as Camilla's authenticity began to resonate with younger generations. Through her relatable public persona and genuine interest in community engagement, she became a symbol of resilience and adaptability. As she traveled across the United Kingdom, from urban centers to rural communities, her willingness to listen and connect with citizens from all backgrounds deepened her appeal. This fostered a growing acceptance, gradually transforming her role into one that symbolizes resilience, adaptability, and modern royalty. Also, the couple's commitment to environmental issues marked a significant shift in royal priorities. King Charles had long championed sustainability, and with Camilla by his side, they emphasized the monarchy's responsibility to address pressing global challenges. Their collaborative efforts on projects related to conservation and climate change not only garnered public admiration, but also positioned them as forward-thinking leaders in the royal sphere. What's even more fascinating is that the royal family's support played a crucial role in this transformation. Queen Elizabeth II, who initially had reservations about Camilla, began to publicly endorse her role within the family. This endorsement was critical in changing public perception. The royal couple attended numerous events, where Camilla's charm and commitment became evident, further helping to dispel the myths that surrounded her. As Camilla embraced her royal duties, her journey of transformation took on new dimensions. In addition to her advocacy work, she focused on building relationships with various charities, which represents the monarchy. Her approach resonated with the public, leading to an amazing amount of support. In 2017, during a poignant moment at a public engagement, Camilla spoke candidly about her experiences with domestic abuse, which solidified her commitment to raising awareness about such critical issues. This reality has proved vital in shifting public perceptions. Interestingly, her marriage to Charles allowed her to develop the modern royal ideal, which harmonized tradition with progressive values. As their love story evolved, The couple's dedication to environmental causes gained recognition, with Charles often highlighting Camilla's support in his speeches. Together, they began to represent a new era for the monarchy, one that prioritizes compassion and service. As the public began to see her true character, the narrative surrounding Camilla shifted dramatically. No longer merely the subject of tabloid headlines, she emerged as a compassionate and dedicated royal who embodied the values of service and community. In the middle of this newfound acceptance, however, challenges remained, especially as they prepared for the next chapter of their lives as king and queen consort. It wasn't an easy journey, but Camilla's resilience helped her forge a new path.
It was going to cause more harm than good.
The feud within the royal family has reached a boiling point. Prince Harry and Prince William are no longer holding back as they reportedly make their ultimate move against Queen Camilla. Accused of betrayal, manipulation, and leaking royal secrets to the press, Camilla's actions have left the nation stunned. The rift between the brothers and their stepmother has only grown deeper, and what the princes did next is sending shockwaves across the monarchy. Is this the beginning of the end for Queen Camilla?
What made her dangerous because of the connections that she was forging within the British press.
Prince Harry accuses Queen Camilla of manipulating the media. Prince Harry has never shied away from speaking his mind, and his latest accusations against Queen Camilla have sent shockwaves through the royal family and the public. In a series of interviews and his explosive memoir Spare, Harry described Camilla as dangerous, accusing her of manipulating the media to repair her public reputation. According to Harry, Camilla traded private information about the royal family with the British press in exchange for favorable coverage, a move he claims came at the expense of others, including himself and Prince William. Harry alleges that Camilla's efforts to rehabilitate her image began after she was widely viewed as the villain in the love triangle between her, King Charles, and Princess Diana. Following Diana's death, Camilla worked tirelessly to gain public approval, eventually becoming queen consort. However, Harry claims this transformation was achieved through a calculated campaign of leaks to the media, portraying her in a positive light while damaging the reputation of others in the royal household. One of Harry's most shocking claims is that Camilla's PR team leaked stories about his own struggles, including his use of drugs, to distract the press and shift attention away from her controversial past. He described this as a barter deal with the media, where Camilla provided inside information in exchange for glowing headlines. Harry even suggested that Camilla's actions left bodies in the street, referring to the damage done to family members' reputations. The tension between Harry, William, and Camilla dates back decades. Both brothers opposed their father's marriage to Camilla in 2005, believing it was inappropriate for the woman they blamed for the breakdown of their parents' marriage to become their stepmother. While they publicly wished their father well, behind the scenes, resentment lingered. Harry's accusations have reignited that animosity, making it clear that the wounds of the past have not healed. Despite these claims, Camilla has remained silent, with supporters pointing out her years of dedication to charitable work and the late Queen Elizabeth's endorsement of her as queen consort. However, Harry's accusations have painted a darker picture of her rise to power, leaving the nation divided. Is Camilla the manipulative figure Harry describes, or a misunderstood woman navigating a complex royal life? Harry and William opposed their father, marrying Camilla. The royal family has always been surrounded by drama, but few moments have been as controversial as King Charles's marriage to Camilla in 2005. While the public was divided over the union, Prince Harry and Prince William were firmly against it. The two brothers, still grieving the loss of their mother, Princess Diana, saw Camilla as the woman who had played a key role in the breakdown of their parents' marriage. Their opposition to the marriage was both personal and emotional. For years, Charles and Camilla had been romantically involved, even during Charles's marriage to Diana. Diana famously revealed the affair in her explosive 1995 interview, stating, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." This betrayal left a lasting impact on her sons, who harbored deep resentment toward Camilla as the other woman. When Charles announced his plans to marry Camilla, Harry and William reportedly begged their father not to go through with it. In his memoir Spare, Harry opened up about this difficult time. He described how he and William pleaded with their father to reconsider, arguing that the marriage would only bring more pain and controversy. However, Charles was determined to marry the woman he loved. Feeling defeated, the brothers eventually gave him their blessing, shook his hand, and assured him there were no hard feelings. But behind the scenes, the resentment lingered. Harry and William's disapproval stemmed not just from Camilla's role in their parents' failed marriage, but also from their fears about what her presence in the royal family would mean. Harry, in particular, admitted that the worried Camilla might become a wicked stepmother, like in the fairy tales he read as a child. He also accused her of being manipulative and using her relationship with the press to improve her public image, often at the expense of others in the royal family. Even after the marriage, the relationship between Camilla and the brothers remained frosty. Their interactions were polite but distant, with no warmth or genuine connection. The scars from the past were too deep to heal. To this day, Harry and William's opposition to their father's marriage to Camilla remains one of the most talked about chapters in royal history. Camilla's alleged role in leaking stories about the royal family. The royal family has always been surrounded by whispers, but Prince Harry's claims about Queen Camilla have ignited a firestorm of controversy. According to Harry, Camilla allegedly leaked private information about royal family members to the media as part of a calculated plan to rebuild her public image. In his memoir, Spare, and various interviews, Harry paints a picture of a woman who was willing to sacrifice others, including her stepsons Harry and William, to secure her place in the royal hierarchy. Harry alleges that Camilla entered into a barter agreement with the British press, exchanging sensitive royal details for positive coverage of herself. This, he claims, was part of a long-term strategy to repair her reputation after being labeled the villain in King Charles and Princess Diana's marriage. Harry described her as dangerous in an interview, suggesting that her close ties with the media made her a threat to anyone who stood in her way. Perhaps the most shocking of Harry's accusations is that Camilla's PR team leaked damaging stories about him and William to shift negative attention away from herself. Harry believes that details about his experimentation with drugs and other personal struggles were deliberately fed to the press to clean up Camilla's image. In his words, there were bodies left in the street as a result of her attempts to secure favorable headlines. The tension between Harry, William, and Camilla has long been a topic of speculation, but Harry's revelations have given the public an unprecedented look behind palace walls. Both brothers reportedly opposed their father's marriage to Camilla in 2005, fearing her influence in the royal family. While they eventually appeared to accept her publicly, Harry's accusations suggest that resentment has simmered beneath the surface for years. Camilla, for her part, has remained silent on the allegations, but royal insiders have defended her, pointing to her years of charitable work and her close relationship with King Charles. Even the late Queen Elizabeth publicly endorsed her as Queen Consort, praising her dedication to the monarchy. Despite this, Harry's claims have left the public divided. Is Camilla a cunning figure who manipulated the press at the expense of others? Or is she a misunderstood woman navigating the complexities of royal life? One thing is clear, the drama within the royal family is far from over. Strained relationship between Camilla and her stepson princes. The relationship between Queen Camilla and her stepsons, Prince William and Prince Harry, has long been a source of tension within the royal family. Despite public appearances of unity, insiders reveal that the bond between them has always been strained, rooted in the bitter history of their parents' marriage and Camilla's role in their father's life. For William and Harry, Camilla was not just their father's new wife. She was the woman widely seen as the third person in King Charles and Princess Diana's marriage. Diana's famous comment, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded," left no doubt in the public's mind about Camilla's involvement. This perception deeply impacted the young princes, who grew up watching their mother's heartbreak unfold before the world. When Charles announced his plan to marry Camilla in 2005, both brothers were reportedly unhappy. Harry later admitted in his memoir Spare that he and William had asked their father not to marry her, fearing it would only bring more pain and controversy. However, Charles was determined, and the princes eventually gave their reluctant approval, shaking his hand and wishing him well. Despite this, insiders say the resentment lingered, especially for Harry. Attempts to bridge the gap between Camilla and her stepsons have reportedly been unsuccessful. Interactions between them are described as polite but distant, with no genuine warmth. Royal events often highlight this tension, as Harry and William are said to maintain a careful distance from their stepmother. Camilla, aware of their feelings, has reportedly accepted her position as an outsider in their eyes. Harry has been particularly vocal about his feelings toward Camilla, accusing her of leaking private family details to the press to rehabilitate her public image. In interviews and his memoir, he called her dangerous and claimed she sacrificed others, including him and William, to improve her standing with the media. William, though less outspoken, is believed to share similar sentiments, holding on to loyalty to their late mother, Princess Diana. The strained relationship between Camilla and her stepsons is a painful reminder of the complexities within the royal family. While public smiles and handshakes suggest unity, the emotional scars left by the past seem far from healed, leaving Camilla's bond with William and Harry forever fractured. Camilla's influence on King Charles and royal affairs. Queen Camilla's rise to power within the royal family has been surrounded by controversy, with many insiders claiming her influence over King Charles has grown significantly since their marriage. While Camilla is often portrayed as a supportive partner, critics, including Prince Harry, have accused her of being the real power behind the throne, using her position to shape royal decisions and dynamics in her favor. But how much influence does Camilla truly have, and how has it affected the royal family? Camilla's journey into the royal spotlight was never smooth. After being blamed for the breakdown of King Charles and Princess Diana's marriage, she worked hard to rebuild her public image. Her efforts eventually earned her the title of Queen Consort, but Harry and William reportedly viewed her growing influence with suspicion. Harry, in particular, accused her of sacrificing others on her PR altar, claiming she used the media to strengthen her position, sometimes at the expense of other family members. One of the most contentious points is Camilla's alleged role in shaping how Charles interacts with his children. Insiders suggest that Camilla has played a significant part in discouraging King Charles from reconciling with Harry following his departure from royal duties in 2020. Reports claim she has taken a firm stance against Harry and Meghan's potential return to the royal fold, even going so far as to block Harry from visiting his father without prior notice. This has reportedly caused tension between Camilla and King Charles, who is said to be open to mending his relationship with his sons, but only on his own terms. Camilla's growing influence extends beyond family disputes. She is believed to have a strong hand in Charles's public and private affairs, often guiding his decisions. For example, when Charles publicly revealed his health issues earlier this year, Camilla was reportedly against the announcement, preferring to keep such matters private. However, Charles overruled her, reportedly after being encouraged by William and Harry to set an example for the public. Despite these claims, Camilla has also been credited with bringing stability to Charles's life and supporting his duties as monarch. But her influence remains a divisive topic. Is she a guiding force helping Charles navigate his role, or is she using her position to consolidate power within the palace? The debate continues, with Camilla's role in royal affairs sparking controversy both inside and outside the monarchy. King Charles caught between his wife and sons. King Charles finds himself in an unenviable position, trapped between the growing tension of his wife, Queen Camilla, and his sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. What should have been a time of unity for the royal family has instead become a battlefield, with Charles struggling to maintain peace while navigating one of the most complicated family rifts in modern royal history. The source of the tension largely revolves around Charles's marriage to Camilla. For years, both William and Harry harbored resentment toward their stepmother, whom they saw as the woman who played a key role in the breakdown of their parents' marriage. Diana's infamous 1995 interview, in which she declared, "There were three of us in this marriage," cemented Camilla's image as the other woman. While Charles ultimately married Camilla in 2005, neither William nor Harry ever fully accepted her as part of the family. Behind closed doors, the tension has reportedly only worsened over the years. Harry, in particular, has been vocal about his disdain for Camilla, accusing her of manipulating the media to rehabilitate her image. In his memoir Spare, Harry claimed that Camilla's relationship with the press came at the expense of other family members, including himself and William. He even went so far as to call her dangerous in interviews, citing her alleged willingness to sacrifice others for favorable headlines. As king, Charles is now caught in the middle of this feud. Reports suggest that he has tried to act as a mediator between his sons and his wife, but his efforts have been met with resistance. Camilla has reportedly taken a tough stance against Harry, particularly after his public attacks on her character. Some insiders claim she has even blocked Harry from visiting his father without prior notice, further complicating any efforts at reconciliation. Meanwhile, Charles is said to be open to repairing his relationship with Harry, but only on his own terms. However, this puts him at odds with Camilla, who reportedly believes the king has no reason to feel guilty or reach out to Harry and Meghan. The ongoing feud has left Charles in an impossible position, torn between loyalty to his sons and his devotion to his wife. As the tension continues to escalate, the question remains, can Charles ever bring peace to his fractured family, or will the divide grow even deeper? Harry's memoir, Spare, and additional criticisms of Camilla Prince Harry's memoir, Spare, has taken the world by storm, offering a raw and unfiltered look into his life as a royal and the struggles he faced growing up in the public eye. However, one of the most explosive aspects of the book is Harry's pointed criticisms of Queen Camilla. His revelations have not only shocked royal watchers, but have also reignited the long-standing tension within the royal family. In Spare, Harry holds nothing back when discussing his feelings about Camilla, whom he refers to as dangerous. He accuses her of manipulating the media to shape her public image while sacrificing the reputations of others, particularly his and his brother William's. This characterization paints a picture of a woman willing to go to great lengths to secure her position as queen consort, even at the expense of her stepsons. Harry claims that Camilla's close relationship with the press allowed her to leak damaging stories about him and William, using their struggles to distract from her own controversial past. Harry's portrayal of Camilla is particularly striking because it reveals the deep emotional scars left by their mother, Princess Diana's tragic death. He suggests that Camilla represents everything that went wrong in their family, positioning her as a symbol of betrayal and heartbreak. The prince's memories of his mother's suffering at the hands of the royal family only amplify his criticisms of Camilla, making it clear that these feelings run deep. As the public reaction to Spare unfolds, many are left wondering how Camilla will respond to Harry's accusations. While she has remained mostly silent, royal insiders are reportedly braced for potential fallout. The divide between the brothers and their stepmother has only widened, raising questions about the future dynamics within the royal family. Additionally, Harry's criticisms have sparked conversations about the broader implications of Camilla's role in the monarchy. Are her actions as manipulative as Harry suggests, or is she simply a woman trying to navigate the complexities of royal life? As the debate rages on, it's clear that Spare has opened old wounds and reignited a debate that many thought was settled long ago. Harry's desire to reintegrate into the royal family. Prince Harry's journey away from royal life has been filled with drama and heartache, but recent reports suggest he may be yearning to find his way back into the fold. After stepping back from royal duties in 2020 and moving to the United States, Harry's relationship with his family has been strained, particularly with his father, King Charles, and his stepmother, Queen Camilla. However, whispers of Harry's desire to reintegrate into the royal family have sparked hope among royal watchers and fans alike. The turning point for Harry seems to have come after the birth of his two children, Archie and Lilibet. As a father, Harry has expressed a desire for his children to connect with their royal roots. He often reflects on his childhood memories of family gatherings, royal events, and the importance of tradition. In interviews, he has mentioned wanting his children to have a sense of belonging within the royal family, which has made him reconsider his decision to distance himself. Harry's recent public appearances have also hinted at his desire for reconciliation. During a visit to the UK for various events, including the unveiling of a statue of his mother, Princess Diana, Harry appeared more open and willing to engage with his family. Reports suggest he has reached out to old friends and aides, seeking to rebuild bridges that had been burnt over the past few years. His willingness to be back in the UK, despite the media's scrutiny, indicates a strong desire to reconnect. However, the path to reintegration is fraught with challenges. The ongoing tensions with Camilla remain a significant hurdle. Harry's criticisms of her in his memoir, Spare, have not gone unnoticed, making it difficult for him to find common ground with her. Additionally, William has also been hesitant, still holding on to the wounds from the past. Family dynamics are complicated, and the brothers' relationship needs healing before any real reconciliation can happen. Despite these challenges, Harry has shown signs of hope. He has expressed a desire for honest conversations with his family, emphasizing the importance of understanding and healing. The royal family, often seen as a fortress of tradition, now faces the challenge of adapting to a new era where communication and openness could bridge the gap.